Imagine gas prices rising from under $3 a gallon to higher levels if U.S.-Iran tensions escalate. Sanctions already strain Iran's economy, while conflicts like Ukraine and economic pressures add instability. This isn't just about politics. It could affect your wallet by increasing costs for fuel and goods. Oil prices aren't random. They react to global tensions like a barometer. When OPEC+, the group of major oil producers, senses trouble, like in 2014 when Saudi Arabia and Russia clashed over production, prices spike fast. The 1973 OPEC embargo, triggered by U.S. support for Israel, caused gas lines and price surges overnight. Today, a U.S.-Iran conflict could repeat this, hitting your wallet at the pump. Iran once pumped 2.5 million barrels of oil daily, but now exports far less due to U.S. sanctions. This unused capacity, like a faucet turned off, could vanish if tensions escalate, slashing supply overnight and sending prices soaring globally. Meanwhile, OPEC weighs risks behind closed doors, while the Strait of Hormuz remains a hotspot for potential disruptions. Imagine a vital artery for global oil, the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of daily crude flows around 18 million barrels passes through. If disrupted, like in past conflicts, refineries scramble for alternatives, prices surge, and economies feel the pinch. This isn't just a traffic jam. It's a choke point with ripple effects felt at gas pumps worldwide. But what if China, one of the world's biggest oil buyers, can't stabilize its economy? According to the Peterson Institute for International Economics, PIIE, China's economic tools are struggling, making it more dependent on Middle East oil. If its growth slows further, it might cut back on imports, leaving even less oil in global markets and pushing prices up. Imagine a giant like China suddenly buying less gas, like a hungry customer leaving the buffet early. That adds another layer of risk to this already tense situation. U.S. sanctions on Iran are supposed to strangle its oil exports, but they're like a game of whack-a-mole. Secondary bans target countries that buy Iranian oil, like China evading tariffs and Mexico by rerouting shipments through third parties, as Reuters reported in 2026. But enforcement is messy. Ships change flags, paperwork gets fuzzy, and loopholes stay open. The result? Sanctions hurt Iran's economy, but they don't always stop the oil from flowing, leaving global markets vulnerable to surprises. A $10 spike in oil prices isn't just a number. It's your wallet screaming. Think of it like this. When a highway closes, gas stations panic and prices jump. Oil markets work the same way. A $10 barrel increase means refineries pay more for crude, and that cost trickles down to you at the pump. Historically, spikes like this have pushed U.S. gas prices above $5 in inflation-adjusted terms. That's not just sticker shock, it's a financial squeeze on families, businesses, and even economies. And if China, a major oil buyer, cuts back due to its own economic struggles, the crunch gets worse. Sanctions complicate things further, but loopholes keep some Iranian oil flowing, adding unpredictability. The ripple effect? A global price shock that hits home faster than you think. Oil prices are stable now, but that stability is fragile. China, the world's biggest oil buyer, is slowing down, per Article 2, meaning it might import less oil. That leaves even less supply for everyone else. If tensions with Iran escalate, Article 3, panic buying could send prices soaring faster than expected, like when a popular item disappears from a store, suddenly making everything cost more. Is Iran's clash with Ukraine just a distraction, or proof it's expanding its conflict globally? The Caspian Sea attack shows Tehran isn't backing down even as U.S. sanctions fail to stop its oil exports. If China slows imports due to its economic struggles, global supply could shrink faster than expected. It's like Iran playing chess while the U.S. tries to block its moves, but the board keeps shifting under their feet. Now, imagine Iran retaliating by targeting U.S. allies like Saudi oil facilities. A strike there could knock out millions of barrels a day overnight, sending prices skyrocketing. Or worse, if the conflict spirals into a full-scale war, global supply chains freeze up. Ships reroute, ports shut down, and refineries scramble to find new sources. That's not just higher gas prices, inflation hitting groceries, shipping costs, even your next vacation. The Caspian Sea attack shows Iran isn't bluffing. Quid history batit, the Caspian Sea attack shows Iran is bluffing with his PIIE. And if China's slowdown cuts imports further, supply collapses faster than expected. But there's a silver lining: markets have adapted before. OPEC Plus has stepped in during past crises, balancing supply to prevent wild price swings. Think of it like a restaurant adjusting portion sizes when demand drops. Yet Iran isn't just another oil player. Sanctions and nuclear risks make this situation unique. If China slows imports further, the math gets trickier, like solving for an extra variable in an equation you thought was already solved. So what can you do to prepare? First, diversify your energy investments. Think ETFs or stocks tied to renewable energy, so you're not riding the roller coaster of oil prices alone. Second, keep an eye on the Strait of Hormuz. If ships start rerouting there, that's your early warning sign. And third, watch China's economic signals. Like if they devalue the yuan, it's their way of saying, we're in trouble. History shows markets adapt, but this time, with Iran's sanctions and China's slowdown, it's a high-stakes game. Stay sharp, and you'll be ahead when prices spike. But this time, with this rerouting, is this just a temporary spike, or could it kick off a longer-term trend? Think about U.S.-China strategic shifts, like how China's economic slowdown might cut imports faster than expected. That adds pressure to an already tight oil market. Markets have adapted before, but Iran isn't your average player. Sanctions and nuclear risks make this different. If China slows down more, the math gets messy. So what can you do? Diversify investments like renewable energy ETFs to hedge against volatility. Watch the roll warnings, like rerouting. Rake rates routed. And keep an eye on China's economic signals, like a yuan devaluation. History shows markets adapt, but this time, it's high stakes. Stay sharp to stay ahead. So what can you do? First, diversify your energy investments like ETFs or stocks tied to renewables to smooth out the bumps. Second, watch the Strait of Hormuz. If ships reroute, that's your early warning sign. And third, keep an eye on China's economic signals, like a yuan devaluation. That's their way of saying, we're in trouble. Markets adapt, but this time, with Iran's sanctions and China's slowdown, it's high stakes.